Hello everyone and welcome to another trip report video. Today we're going to be flying with Bulgaria Air FB461 or KL3016 I think it was, flying from Sofia to Amsterdam, a 7 AM flight. It's a daily flight and we're getting the first 184 of the day to Terminal 2. So as you can see here, this is the 184. Goes to Terminal 1 first, rest, and then goes to Terminal 2. So you might have to get off here at one of these Nova televisions, I think it is, and then just walk. It'll be 2 minutes quicker. I tend to walk fast. Here we are at this. Name of this place again is Kliment Ohridski. There is the St. Alexander Palace. If you watched my video in summer on the Wizz Air flight from Sofia to London Luton, you'll remember this place. And now we're back here. I think we also might have done the same thing with to Brussels in winter, but I can't remember. So then the only one here, there's no one else here. It's going to be a bit tight, so basically this first bus is the 4:44 during the weekday. Then the weekends run tests later, oddly enough. And it is going to get us there about 5:20 past 5. So that gives us an hour and 40 minutes. I have to check in at the kiosk because I was very impressed with Bulgaria Air flying in here. One thing I have to say is their app and their integration and all that is very outdated. It's as if it's something from the 2000s. The interface is just very kind of old-fashioned and like clunky, and I'm not sure if not being able to check in is just because it's a codeshare, and obviously my tickets were KLM. So yes, because to be fair with KLM, I can also book seats for Bulgaria Air. So I think with codeshare sometimes there's this like stuff. Obviously the systems aren't integrated. But you know, I could issue, like KLM was able to issue me a boarding pass for for Bulgaria Air, so they've assumed they would have been able to do the same thing for me. There is a Skoda trolleybus on line 3. I think that's just coming there from Depot Iskra. Oh, sorry, line 3. Well, it's already the first one of the day. But anyway, there's another one coming in. So these are all coming from the depot. So Depot Iskra is down that way. It's basically just south of Sofia Airport. It's 9 degrees. It's not freezing cold like it was here during the winter. Yes, I think it might have been here during the winter as well. Yeah, actually, it was here during the winter, so I just remembered, yeah, so I've done this twice now. But yeah, I'm just going to have a quick breakfast, have a Easter donut, and have 2 aloe vera drinks, which I need to get rid of. So I'll catch you guys once we're in Sofia Airport, or if we get off and then just walk into Sofia Airport. It's a 17-minute walk. So the bus waits here at Terminal 1 before it goes on a return course to Terminal 2, going back to the city centre. So it's a bit of a strange routing, as in it doesn't serve Terminal 2 when it's outbound, but it does inbound. So there's our final destination, Dublin. As you can see, Ryanair has a flight, but it was like 100 quid. I think Bulgaria Air altogether worked out like 6 quid more, but you get the 2 bags, obviously. Your free food on KLM, that is, and then you also get to choose the dates because Ryanair flies Wednesdays, Saturdays, Sundays, whereas at least with KLM it's daily. So there's also looking into that. I see also they've changed up the terminal, so they've started to commercialise it like any other airport. This is owned by the Munich group that's running this concession, 12 years, and then it's 25-year concession altogether. So now you're forced to go to duty free, as with any other airport. All dressed up for Easter. So before, until recently, I think the last time I flew out from Terminal 2 was in November. You can go just straight through there. Whereas now, obviously, you go through there. Although at least they have 2 litre water bottles now for 2 years before, like, there's like a 500 milliliter bottle of water was 3 years. There's that. So yeah, they're starting to commercialise Sofia Airport, which makes sense. It's obviously owned by a big airport group operator. It's beautiful. The nice thing with Sofia Airport is it's very small and compact, so even though we only came here like an hour and 40 minutes before it's full time, I think some of the ones are usually a bit more backlogged. They don't have any security lenses, so if there are many people traveling at once, it can get quite hectic. And the fact that the two terminals are far apart is a bit annoying because walking between them takes 20 minutes. You have to get a shuttle bus that's every 40 minutes during the night. It's 24 hours. But yes, it's a fairly small terminal.
There is our aircraft potentially. Our flight is from gate B4. There is the direct flight to Dublin, FR52R4, with a 5:54 departure of Boeing 737 MAX, costing the same price as this full service carrier. What is this coffee machine? Is there really a need for this at this early hour of the morning? One thing is for sure, it's definitely not 1349. We are once again flying on LZ-PAR, the aircraft we flew in on the week before.
FB461 авиокомпания Bulgaria Air до летище Schiphol в Амстердам. Нашият полет ще продължи около 2 часа и 40 минути. Ако вашето място е до аварийен изход, то уверете се, че целият ви ръчен багаж е поставен в багажниците над вашето място. Преди излизане ви молим да закопчаете и затегнете добре предпазните си колани, да приберете скаваемите масички, да изправите облегалките на креслата и да вдигнете стениците на илюминаторите. Искаме да ви информираме, че пушенето на борда на самолета, включително и на електронни цигари, не е разрешено. От името на екипажа с командир Димитър Христов и командир Васил Герзилов ви пожелаваме приятен полет. Благодаря. Board of Airbus A220 Bulgaria Air flying on its regular flight FB461 to Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam. Our estimated flight time will be about 2 hours and 30 minutes. If you are sitting next to an emergency exit, please make sure that your luggage is stowed in the compartments above you. Before takeoff, you kindly requested to fasten and tighten your seatbelt securely, to put the backs of your seats at the folding table in a upright position and open the window shades. We'd like to inform you that smoking aboard, including electronic cigarettes, are not permitted. On behalf of Captain and Captain of the Stair Crew, we wish you a pleasant flight. Thank you. Синьите тъпа законите изгаснаха, но в интерес на вашата безопасност ви препоръчваме да останете по местата си с закопчани предпазни плани по време на целия полет като мярка срещу внезапна турбуленция. Внимавайте при отварянето на багажниците. Самолетът ни разполага с 3 тоалетни, като едната тоалетна се намира в предната му част и е предназначена за бизнес класа пътници, а другите две са в задната част на самолета. Пушенето, включително използването на електронни цигари на борда на авиокомпания България не са разрешени. Ето защо туалетите са снабдени с детектори за дни. Благодаря. Ladies and gentlemen, the fasten seatbelt signs have been switched off and you may now fasten your seatbelts if you wish. However, we highly recommend for additional safety to wear seatbelts fastened while seated as a precaution against sudden turbulence. Please open your headphones with caution. There are 3 toilets on board, one in front, which is reserved for our business class passengers, and 2 more that are part of the cabin. Smoking on board, including electronic cigarettes, are not permitted. As smoking is not permitted, all lavatories are fitted with sensitive smoke detectors. Thank you. Моля ви да останете седнали по местата си с закопчани предпазни колани до окончателното спиране на самолета и до изгасване на светеният сигнал за коланите. За ваша информация, температурата на въздуха е 10 градуса по Целзий, а часът е 9 часа местно време. Моля ви да проверите дали сте взели целият си ръчен багаж и лични принадлежности при напускане на самолета. Внимавайте при отварянето на багажниците. Всички електронни устройства трябва да останат в режим полет до окончателното спиране на самолета. Екипажът ни с командир Димитър Христов и командир Васил Герзил ви благодаря, че избрахте авиокомпания Bulgaria Air за своето пътуване. Вярваме, че полетът бе приятен за вас и се надяваме да ви посрещнем отново на борда на нашите самолети. Благодарим ви, желаем ви приятен ден и довиждане! Ladies and gentlemen, we have just landed at Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam. Please keep your seatbelts fastened until the complete stop of the aircraft and its engines and until the fasten seatbelt signs have been switched off. For your information, the outside temperature is reported to be 10 degrees Celsius and the local time is 5 minutes past 9 a.m. Please make sure that you have taken our hand luggage and personal belongings with you when leaving the aircraft. Be careful when opening your headpieces. All electronic devices should remain in flight mode until the airplane comes to complete stop. The crew with Captain Dimitar Christoph and Captain Vasil Gergiev thanks you for choosing Bulgaria for your trip. We hope you have enjoyed the flight and are glad to welcome you again on board of our aircraft soon. Thank you, we wish you a nice day and goodbye.
So we have just landed in Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. The flight with Bulgaria Air this time was less impressive. We didn't get the free coffee in addition to the free drinks. There's no refills. They also didn't mention the partner airlines. It was still grand, but yeah, it's definitely better on the way there and back. There's also self-service transfer. There's actually, you can print out your boarding passes there, it turns out. But yeah, that includes our flight on FB461. Thanks for watching. Until next time.